All right, team. What I'm going to do today is explain to you guys the new data modeling capabilities in 2020.2 in the best way I can. So the way I'm going to do that is through a comparison between 2020.1 and 2020.2 using this Excel file. So to give you guys some information about this data is for a fake bookshop, and we're looking here at the entries for book IDs as related to author IDs and titles in the book sheet right here. When we're looking at this, it's very obvious to us that from a perspective of the different books, we have here 3 different books, Port Myron, blah, blah, blah. They are all made by the same author, this BT132 author ID person, right? When we go to the author sheet, we can see that what we have here in terms of information is we have the author ID, and these author IDs are unique. There's no redundancy because each one is a reference to a first name and last name, a birthday, country, and hours spent writing per day. This is going to be very important because we're going to have to think about how data comes together in Tableau now, and in SQL, as a matter of fact, when you are doing joins versus when you're doing blends. And then we're going to take it a step further and explain how this is all going to be a lot easier in 2020.2. So let's start here with the 2020.1. So I'm going to start off by connecting to the Excel sheet by going to Excel here and look up Beta Bookshop. Let me actually make this, I'll keep it the same. So when I drag book here, all right, well, this is exactly matching the book information in Excel right here. So far, so good. Everyone following? All right. And then if I look into author here, all right, it adds to the columns by adding 3 different columns and creating an inner join automatically on author ID. So what does that do? When I go to the first sheet and I double click on hours writing per day, the number of hours is 388. Let's verify this data very quickly. Over here, we don't have any number of hours written. But when we go to the author sheet and we add it up, what you guys see, it's actually 283. So what is going on with our data? Well, it's very simple. What's happening, well, not very simple, but what is happening is essentially the data is becoming redundant. So to go to the data source and to show you guys exactly what's going on, do you guys remember those author IDs that I told you are singular in the author sheets? Well, they're now duplicated. We have 3 times Burton Malmond. So as a result of that, we have 3 times worth of 6 hours written per day, even though this author only wrote 6 hours total per day. So as a result of that, instead of 6, he's being counted 3 times. This is because the level of detail of the data sets are different, right? So what we need to do instead, it was a blend. So normally in Tableau, what you need to do here is you keep it on book, you add a different data source, which is the exact same data from the same file that we're looking at, that adds a different data source, all right? I'm going to click on this one now. All right, let's take this out. We're going to add it again, actually, from here. Let's do it here. All right, cool. And then we're going to drag out author here. So now what we have is the book one. So it just has the book. And then if we go to the author one, it just has the author. All right, so now we're going to create what is called a blend. So if I, right now, double click on hours written per day, this number is exactly the same as the one we have here, right? So it's 283.1. Great, so this one is accurate. If I wanted to relate both of these things together based on author ID like I was doing before, what I need to do is create a blend by clicking on this paperclip here and use the author ID as a linking field. And now this information is not going to change the granularity of the data. The total hours are still going to be 283.1, but there will be null values because for the ones that have a book ID, but don't necessarily want to use a different auth ID, it's not being redundant, right? Now let's take a look at this model, but using essentially like the new version of